Good morning, dear students of class 9. Welcome to biology class. Today we'll begin with the new unit number 5, human anatomy and physiology, and we'll begin with the chapter nutrition, chapter number 10. Clear? We'll begin a new chapter, that is nutrition, chapter number 10. So what do you mean by nutrition? Since the chapter's name is nutrition, so we have to remember, or we have to know the exact meaning of nutrition. So what do you mean by nutrition? Okay, so nutrition means the supply of essential organic and inorganic chemical compounds to the body. Generally says that nutrition means the supply of essential organic and inorganic chemical compounds to the body. Now what are those chemical compounds which are needed by the body? It may be proteins, vitamins, salts and carbohydrates. Okay, and all such chemical components which are needed by the body is called nutrients. Clear? In other way, we can also define nutrition as the process of producing or obtaining the food which are necessary for an individuals for growth and to remain healthy. Okay, so therefore nutrition can be defined as the process by which an animal or plant takes in and utilizes those food substances for their growth and in order to remain healthy. Alright, and those chemical substances which are being utilized by the plants, by the animals for their growth or in order to perform any other physiological functions are known as nutrients. Okay, so nutrients must be there in our food in order to get the proper nutrition. So what is food? So food is any substance which we eat or drink and which contains the nutrients. Okay, so anything that we used to eat, we used to drink that contain the nutrients are known as the food. Okay, and diet is mainly the combination of food items which we eat in our meals. Okay, so that means the combination of food items that we take during our meals. And what is meal? It is the process of food taken. Alright, when we used to take the food, that is known as meal, that we should take at one time to satisfy our appetite or to fulfill the appetites. And what is appetite? It means the desire to eat while hunger is while there will be dizziness during hungerness. Okay, due to lack of food. And what is balanced diet? Balanced diet is the one which contains all the principal constituents of the food in proper quantity for a particular person. Okay, so here you will find the differences of all the meanings: nutrition, nutrient, food, diet, meat, appetite and balanced diet. Okay, so what is nutrition? Which can be defined as the essential supply of organic and inorganic chemical substances to the body, which are known as the nutrients. Okay, and those nutrients should be present in those substances which we used to eat or drink, which is called the food. Alright, and diet means the combination of the food items which we eat or which we will drink in our meal. And what is meal? The process of where we used to take the food in order to satisfy the appetite. And what is appetite? The desire to eat while hunger is the uneasy as well. There will be uneasiness. Okay, so appetite means the desire to eat when we are feeling hungry. Clear? Due to lack of food. And what is balanced diet? Is the one which contains all the essential constituents of the food in proper quality and quantity for a particular person. So balanced diet is very important. And can you give me the examples of one balanced diet? This is milk. Okay, so balanced diet of a particular person depend on 4 factors. So what are those factors on which the balanced diet is dependent? First one is the age of the person. It can be child, okay, a young one or the old one. Then sex of the individuals, either male sex or female sex. Lifestyle or the nature of the work, it can be farmers, okay, sports player. Clear? Then special needs of persons, it can be sick person, okay, a nursing mother or a pregnant lady. So these are the 4 particular persons or the 4 particular factors on which the balanced diet of a particular person depends. And depending on this, the balanced diet will also be different for particular individuals. Now balanced diet is one which I mentioned just now, is the one which contains all the constituents of a food in a proper quantity for a particular persons. Clear? So one special aspect of a balanced diet is the sufficient number of calories which it will provide. So most important thing is that how much amount of calorie we are getting from a food or from a balanced diet. That's the most important thing. Clear? So calorie means the amount of heat which is required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Remember what is calorie? Calorie is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So kindly remember the definition of calorie. Clear? Then, in considering the energy value of food, usually the term kilocalorie is used and written as kcal. Okay, so kilocalorie is 1000 times the unit calorie. So what we're writing over here? So calorie means the amount of heat that is required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius, and is mainly represented as kilocalorie. Okay. Now, if the daily intake of food does not provide sufficient amount of calorie for a person, clear? So if we are taking the food, but if that food is not about to fulfill the calorie demand of an individuals per day, then that individuals will lose the weight. In the situations, the existing food stores of the body are oxidized and the capacity of the work will be reduced. Notice malnutrition is the conditions in which a person suffers due to lack of deficiency of one or more essential elements or components of the food. If you are not getting the essential components or nutrients from the food, then one will suffer from malnutrition. One will suffer from different types of diseases or different types of disorders. Okay, so let's see the calorie demand or requirement of people. So in case of child with 2 to 3 years, the demand is 1000 to 1400 kilocal per day. That is demand for calorie. A teenager, 1800 to 2400 kilocal per day, 2400. In adult women, 2000 to 2400 kilocalorie per day. Elderly women with 51 years and above, requirement for calorie is 1600 to 1800 kilocal per day. Adult men, 2600 to 3000 kilocal per day. Elderly men 51 years and above, the requirement of calorie is 2000 to 2400. Pregnant lady, demand for calorie or requirement for calorie is 2200 to 2600, and adult labor we have a requirement of 2800 to 3200 kilocal per day. So these are the calorie requirement of different people, and this requirement has to be fulfilled mainly from the food, all right, that contains the essential components or the nutrients. Okay, now what is the need of nutrition? Because we are saying that in nutrition we are taking the food components which are essential for the growth of the plants or the animals. But why there is need of nutrition? All organisms require food, that is true, all right. It is needed for 6 main purposes. Now what are those purposes? Number 1, the first purpose for requiring food is growth. Now, building of new protoplasms or cells for growth. So in order to build these new cells, or in order to build new protoplasms, what do we require? We require food. Okay, so food is required for the growth of an individual. Number 2, repair. Clear? So providing material for the repair of worn out or injured cells. Whenever the cells will be injured and whenever the cells will be dead, so those dead cells or the injured cells needs to be repaired, and for that we require food or we require proper nutrition. Number 3, energy. Okay, so providing energy needed by the body to carry out various life functions. So we have to perform different types of physiological functions. We have to perform nutrition, respiration, excretion, right? So for all the processes we require energy. Even we have to go for locomotions also, so we require energy. So therefore, in order to maintain the proper energy in the body of an individual, we require proper food or proper nutrition. Number 4 is maintenance of chemical composition of cells. We have to maintain it. Number 5, provisions for raw materials. For the manufacture of various secretions for the enzymes, hormones, sweat, milk, we require proper food or proper nutrition. And last one is protections. We have to protect, right? The food that we should take must contain sufficient amount of nutrients so that we will remain away from the germs and harmful diseases. So there must be the supply of proper nutrients in our diet in order to remain free from diseases and infections. So these are the 6 main purposes for the need of nutrition in the body of an organism. Clear? Now, What are the different classes of nutrients? So there are 6 classes of food substances which are called the nutrients, which are present in the food, okay, that we used to take. Those 6 classes are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, mineral salts, vitamins, and water. Under carbohydrate, we learn about sugar, starch, cellulose, glycogen. Under sugar also we learn about glucose, fructose, sucrose. Okay, we learn about fat, we learn about proteins. Under mineral salts we learn about calcium, phosphorus, iron, iodine, potassium, sodium. Okay, under vitamins we learn about fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. Vitamins A, D, and K are the fat soluble, and vitamin B complex is the water soluble vitamins. Okay, then we learn about water. So these are the 6 classes of food substances we are called the nutrients, which must be present in our essential food supplements that we used to eat. So these particular classes of nutrients we will begin in the next class. Okay, so today we have just gone through the basic idea of nutrition, where we have learned the definition of nutrition, nutrients, food, meal, appetite, right? We have our malnutrition, balanced diet. We have seen the different categories of requirements of calorie in an organism regarding their age and sex also. Okay, then we have just gone through the need of nutrition and the classes of nutrients. Okay, so in the next class we'll begin with the classes of nutrients in detail. So this much for today. See you in next class. Thank you.